So this coming Friday sees the World Cup draw take place, and you can catch that coverage right here live on the channel. That's right, we'll have instant reaction to that and much more. But today we're going to simulate that draw and, of course, let the computer, the supercomputer, decide who actually wins the World Cup. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. We're going to simulate the World Cup draw, which, of course, does take place this coming Friday. Catch the action right here on the channel. But before that, we're going to see what the supercomputer thinks will happen in the draw and also what will happen at the World Cup itself. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons, big shout out to you guys. Your one-stop shop for World Cup coverage is right here under one Rooski. Now, guys and girls, big shout out again to the members of the patrons. You know who you are. We're going to hop on over to this platform, this website, which is absolutely fantastic. Not only does it simulate the draw itself, but it also predicts the winner. You can find a link to this website on the channel down below, in the description down below, so check that out. But of course, I can't be on the screen because there's a lot to take in, and we're going to explore it together. So sit tight, hold on, and of course, let's explore this together. All right then, folks, on the website itself, so it does give you the ability to simulate this group draw stage, which we're going to do that as well. Once we've done that, we're going to completely simulate the entire tournament. It's not my predictions, it's what the supercomputer thinks. So a quick exploration of the group, and again, it might be difficult for you to see, but we do have the 4 pots that, of course, will represent each one of the 4 countries that will be decided to go into the groups coming at you this coming Friday. In pot 1, we do have the 3 hosts. We have USA, Mexico, Canada. We also have Spain, Argentina, France, England, Brazil, Portugal, Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. So these are your seeded countries that you would expect to at least challenge to get through to the knockout stages. Into pot 2, we then have some more heavyweights. We've got the likes of Croatia and Morocco, both sides that finished in those silver medal, in the semi-final berths in the past couple of World Cups. Colombia in there, Uruguay, Switzerland, Japan, Senegal, Iran are in here, South Korea, Ecuador, Austria, and Australia. Those are your second nations or second seeds, you would imagine. Then we go to pot 3, and of course we have some new faces, or definitely new faces, but also returning faces, should we say. Norway are back, Panama are here, of course, Egypt, Algeria, Scotland return, Paraguay, Tunisia, Ivory Coast, Uzbekistan, of course, new face, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Bafana, South Africa. And then finally, we have Group 4, which do have those playoff winners. We still have 6 undecided factors. This simulation will also, in the background, create those winners from those games and, of course, put their own representatives in this competition. Again, we don't know. We won't know until March when that is, of course, secure. But 6 nations yet to be decided, but they are joined, again, by some newbies. Jordan, Cape Verde making their debuts. Ghana return, of course. Curacao. Haiti for the long time. I don't even know when the last time at the World Cup they are here. And, of course, the All Blacks, All Whites, should we say, is New Zealand. So that's, of course, the pots. They'll be decided to go into this draw, and we're going to do that in just 1 second. And then we'll follow through. Of course, hopping back to me for the time being, of course, in the World Cup draw itself, 4 nations will be decided for each group. Top 2 go through, and I do think, isn't there a third place sort of seeding system? So if you do finish it in third, you do have a chance to still make it to the World Cup. So let's hop on back over to the simulation and then click the glorious magical button. So sit tight, hold on, and we're going to press this button now. Now this is, of course, going to create the draws here, wherever it is. And, of course, there we have it. So let's explore the draws then, shall we? Starting with, of course, the top one. Maybe I can be on the screen and share it with you. All right, then, starting with Group A, the supercomputer has decided Mexico, of course, one of the 3 co-hosts, will have Algeria, Croatia, and Iraq. Of course, Iraq coming through one of the playoff encounters in their eyes. Of course, initially, from my point of view, if this was the case, I would fancy Mexico and Croatia to come through, and Algeria could be in the contention there for a 3rd place berth. Into Group B, we have Canada, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Austria. Austria will fancy their chances if this was to become true to top that group, and Canada will be looking maybe at a runners-up spot with Saudi Arabia, Cape Verde duking out for that 3rd. Meanwhile, Group C has Brazil, of course. They've also got Morocco, Italy, and Scotland, which would be a group of death if this scenario was to come out on top. Brazil, heavyweights. Italy, of course, a powerhouse, but of course making it difficult for themselves. And Morocco, who did finish in those semi-final spots last time around, Scotland will be thinking, what have they done to deserve this? Meanwhile, kicking off with Group D, we have the USA, Norway, Iran, and Ghana. A good group. Well, not really. It was an okay group for the USA. Norway, of course, dark horses at this stage with a very good crop of players. competing for maybe a bit of a golden generation as well for Norway. Into Group E, we see the Dutch taking on, of course, Dutch Islands, Curacao, Tunisia in the mix there, with Uruguay in contention. What will be a very, very refreshing and exciting group. Let's drop it down a little bit then, shall we, to Group F. We have France, Senegal, Jordan, and Paraguay. Not the best return for the action for Paraguay in a heavy group there, with France and Senegal expected to be in the top two. Group G sees Argentina and the newbies Uzbekistan. They are joined by Switzerland and DR Congo. So two debuts coming into this group, Group G. So interesting for those guys to duke it out. Into Group H has England, Sweden making it through for the UEFA path. Panama and Japan, a very a difficult group there, you would imagine. An exciting one for England, who seem to have landed on their feet of late in the recent competition groups. Into Group I, we have Spain, Ecuador, Turkey, and the Ivory Coast. Again, Turkey making it through via their path. Again, a difficult group. You know, Ecuador, you don't be playing them. Ivory Coast, one of the major nations out of Africa, and Turkey, very difficult. So difficult group there for I. Group J has Portugal, Qatar, Colombia, and Denmark, who will also navigate through their UEFA path to join the band of merry men there. You would look at Portugal and Denmark possibly, with Colombia also could set up some absolute dingers here. And then into the final two, we have Belgium, New Zealand, Egypt, and South Korea. Belgium and South Korea, possibly. Egypt in the mix there. And then Germany are up there with Australia, Haiti, and South Africa, of course. So that's the draw. And we're not done there yet, guys. We're going to go all the distance here and, of course, predict the actual tournament. Hopping back over to the screen right here, right now, the fantastic platform also showcases you the matches, of course, the dates of when they're expected to take place. No kickoffs, but the venues are also here, so you can start to figure out who plays where and when. Of course, so all those matches are into place there, and we'll look forward to seeing those games come into fruition. But now we're going to hop over and press this magical button, which is simulating the full tournament, what the supercomputer imagines will take place. So sit tight, hold on. Let's see what they think is going to happen. So having pressed that magical button, we are resulted with this end group stage scenario. It has actually in Group A seen Croatia top the group, winning 3 out of 3, with Mexico in second spot. Algeria are in that spot there for third. Are they going to make it? Are they not? Iraq look like they are disqualified at this stage. Into Group B sees Canada top the pops there with 5 points. Cape Verde squeaking in the second, with Austria now into third. Supercomputer doesn't even fancy Saudi Arabia either. Morocco, absolutely fantastic. Top bins in Group C. There, of course, oust Brazil into second spot. Italy have to settle for third, but is it going to be enough to go through? Scotland, unfortunately, in this group of death, go nowhere. Iran top Group D with USA in second. Norway, only 2 points, goodness gracious me. And Ghana eliminated into fourth place. Let's move it up a little bit to Group E, and we see the Dutch 3 wins for 3. Uruguay in second spot with 4 points. Tunisia in third. Curacao will go out with just the 1 point. Group F sees France leading the charge there. Senegal in second spot. Paraguay may have enough for the 3 points to go through, but Jordan, they're just happy to be there at this stage. Group G sees Argentina again, 3 wins for 3. Switzerland in second with the 6 points. DR Congo ousting Uzbekistan for that illustrious third. In Group H, England looking well on track, 9 points. And then Panama upset the odds there by putting Sweden with just the 1 point into third. And then the final stretch of groups there. Spain top the group in Group I. Turkey are there in second spot with 4 points. Ecuador in third. Same scoreline of points there. Portugal doing the business in Group J ahead of Colombia. Qatar have to settle for third. Denmark eliminated in fourth. Group K sees South Korea top of the charts in that group. Belgium in the second spot. New Zealand with the 2 points. Is that going to be enough? I don't know. And then Group A sees Germany leading the charge. Australia in second spot. Haiti in third. South Africa again eliminated. Now we are going to go and take a little look at the knockout stages, of course. So it is pretty much all the information is going to be there straight away. So there's no hiding who comes out on top, but we'll go through it bit by bit, of course, for your leisure. Before that, let's take a look at the second place or the third place teams here. We're looking at the 8 out of 12 second place teams to go through to those knockout stages. And we, of course, can see that Austria, Ecuador, DR Congo, Tunisia, Paraguay, Italy, New Zealand, and Haiti make it through to the round of 32. All right then, folks, like I said, we're going to do it one by one, piece by piece, and of course go through this knockout stage. You can see at the end here where the grand scheme of things is. But anyway, Mexico will take on Cape Verde in the round of 32, and they will go through. They'll be joined by France, who will eliminate Brazil and Guadalupe, that's right. Meanwhile, the Dutch will take on Austria, and it will be a 3-0 win for the Dutch. Spain will oust Ecuador in the round of 32 to go through to the next round. Meanwhile, Morocco are on track again, and as they take on a fellow African nation, Senegal. Of course, Morocco will keep on keeping on. Meanwhile, Turkey will upset Uruguay to go through to the last 16. Croatia will be knocked out by the DR Congo. And, of course, Germany will take on Tunisia. That's, of course, one side of the round of 32. Let's hop on over to the other and start right here, right now, with Iran. 5-1 winners over Paraguay to go through. Argentina knocking out Italy to end their journey. Belgium will knock out Austria, of course, to join those guys into the round of 16. England will be eliminated by Colombia, goodness gracious me. Canada will knock out New Zealand 4-1 to go through to the round of 16. South Korea will knock out Haiti 5-0. Portugal will knock out Panama by the 1 goal, and the USA will take out Switzerland. They'll go back on over to the other side, and we go into that round of 16, and we'll see the French knock out the Mexicans to go through to the quarterfinals. They'll be joined by Spain, who will knock out the Dutch 2-0 win as well on the 4th of July. Meanwhile, Morocco again will continue their journey. 1-1 scoreline after the full time there. Penalty shootouts will decide the victory, and Morocco will go through. DR Congo will keep it close, but Germany will navigate through to the quarterfinals, and hopping on over to the other side, we'll see Argentina taking out Iran again to go to the final 8. Belgium will take care of business against Colombia, just a 1-0 on the 6th of July. The Canadians will be knocked out by South Korea 4-2 to end their hosting of the tournament. The USA will squeak past Portugal 0-0, and of course penalty shootouts to be the factor. So into the final 8 we go, and we see France beating Spain 5-3, an absolute ding-dong affair at Foxborough on the 9th of July. Then Germany will knock out Morocco 4-0 to set up a ding-dong classic up against their fellow European nation in the semi-finals. Back on over to the other side of the bracket, we'll see Argentina knock out Belgium 4-1. The South Koreans will take out the USA to make it 2 hosts they'll knock out on the stages to that semi-final. And then, one more time, we'll hop on back over to, of course, the other side. And we'll see the French take care of business against Germany to set up that final. Argentina will knock out South Korea to join them in an absolute repeat of the final that was in 2022. But the French will come out on top this time around by beating Argentina 2-0. And that, my friends, is how the World Cup will pan out according to the supercomputer. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about that. As we get closer, we'll have some more predictions about the World Cup itself. With those playoffs, we'll have, of course, breaking news with that. We'll give a sort of early indication as to how those playoffs will pan out and who do I think will be those 6 nations that will complete the competing in next year's World Cup. Anyway, that's it. Subscribe, smash the like, get your thoughts, and of course, let me know what happens on your supercomputer predictions, and of course, explore the link down below. But until then, I'll see you soon, whenever that is. We're done.